Brewster.
We're hoping to hell here you got some kind of solution for us.
I know what you're looking for, sir, but Skynet is not ready for a system-wide connection.
That's not what your civilian counterparts over there just told me. They say we can stop this damn virus. Now, I understand there's a certain amount of performance anxiety over there, but your boys are saying that if we plug Skynet into all of our systems, it'll squash this thing like a bug and give me back control of my military.
Mr. Chairman, I need to make myself very clear. If we uplink now, Skynet will be in control of your military.
But you'll be in control of Skynet, right?
That is correct, sir.
Then do it. And Brewster, this thing works. You get all the funding you ever need.
Imagine every human on Earth connected. In thought. In feeling.
Yeah, that's me.
In real time.
She's here. Can you see her? Beatrice Murray.
Welcome to the feed.
I have exposure to the very most cutting edge AI, and I think people should be really concerned about it. I keep sounding the alarm bell, but until people see like robots going down the street killing people, like they don't know how to react. Because it seems so ethereal. AI is a rare case where I think we need to be proactive in regulation instead of reactive. Because I think by the time we are reactive in AI regulation, it's too late. AI is a fundamental existential risk for human civilization.
On his first official working day, the 47th president revealed what he calls the biggest infrastructure project in history. It's called Stargate, a $500 billion US investment in a network of giant data centres to drive artificial intelligence. The first of these 10 data centres is already being built in Texas.
As you know, there's great competition for AI and other things, and they're coming in at the highest level. We're joined by Oracle Executive Chairman Larry Ellison, SoftBank CEO, my friend Masa Yoshi-san, and CEO of OpenAI, and I would say by far the leading expert based on everything I read, Sam Altman. So that's great that you're coming in together. That's a massive group of talent.
Now, in this giant project, the key initial technology partners are Microsoft, Oracle, Nvidia, OpenAI, and the UK-based ARM.
Once a single library held the knowledge of the world. Centuries later, data was still controlled by an elite few. Then Oracle freed everyone to work with databases. Today, Oracle is putting the knowledge of the world online.
It will forever change our markets and our culture.
Where do you learn about companies whose future is as limitless as our hunger to know? Exactly. NASDAQ.com.
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go wild.
I'm sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the web.
Number 322?
You both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us?
Not much, because it's a secret.
Once a single library held the knowledge of the world.
Is there a secret handshake? Is there a secret code?
I wish there were something secret I could manifest.
322, a secret number?
There are all kinds of secrets, Tim, but one thing is not a secret. I disagree with this president's direction that he's taking the country. We can do a better job, and I intend to do it.
And we'll be watching. Be safe on the campaign trail. John Kerry, thanks for joining us.
They both belong to a group called Skull and Bones.
The Yale University Secret Society Skull and Bones, better known to you as President George Bush.
Where is this going? Where does it end?
I don't know.
You don't know, or you won't tell me?
I told you before, no one can see beyond a choice they don't understand. And I mean no one.
What choice?
It doesn't matter. It's my choice. I have mine to make, same as you have yours.
Does that include what things to tell me and what not to tell me?
Of course not.
Then why didn't you tell me about the architect? Why didn't you tell me about Zion and the ones before me? Why didn't you tell me the truth?
Because it wasn't time for you to know.
Who decided it wasn't time?
You know who.
I did. then I think it's time for me to know a few more things.
So do I.
Tell me how I separated my mind from my body without jacking in. Tell me how I stopped 4 sentinels by thinking it. Tell me just what the hell is happening to me.
But Oracle, SoftBank and OpenAI will fund this giant project.
Last month I came to celebrate your winning and promised that we will invest $100 billion. And you told me, oh, Masa, go for 200. Yeah. Now I came back with 500. Because this is the, as you said yesterday, this is the beginning of golden age of America.
The potential of Stargate is as big as the imagination of future business leaders, but tech veteran Larry Ellison thinks the first applications will be in medical treatments.
The kind of applications that we're building, to give you an idea, maybe the most charismatic and the one that I think touches us all is electronic health records, not just maintaining electronic health records, but by looking at electronic health records, understanding the condition of doctors, better understanding the condition of their patients, and being able to provide healthcare plans that are much better than they otherwise would be.
Located at the foot of Mount Parnassus, there was a sacred place for all Hellenic people. This place was known as the Oracle of Delphi. Its origin dates to the clash between Apollo and the serpent Python, which was sent by the goddess Hera to pursue Leto, who was a lover of Zeus and mother of Apollo and Artemis. After defeating the terrible viper, Apollo decreed that on that spot, a temple would be built in his honor, and indeed the edification was established. Apollo was also considered the god of prophecy, and due to his mythological origin, the sacred Oracle of Delphi surpassed all others in terms of prestige and devotion. The oracle really existed and was the main religious center for the ancient Greeks. Generals, kings, and noblemen consulted the oracle before making any important decision, whenever it was feasible to do so. No war, alliance, or colonizing expeditions happened without listening to what the oracle had to say beforehand. There was a subterranean chamber inside the Apollo's temple, in which only the Pythonesses, who were the temple's priestesses, could enter. According to the tradition, there they inhaled the gases emanating from the buried body of the Python serpent. These gases and Apollo's gift gave the Pythonesses the power of prophecy. Before asking the oracle anything, the visitor went through a process of purification. They had a sacred fountain to clean themselves, which contained the following inscription: "For the good pilgrim, a drop is enough. For the bad, not even an ocean could remove his stains." Then it was necessary to offer a sacrifice to the gods. A lamb or a bird would have been killed, and then a priest searched their bowels, trying to find divine signs. The question posed to the oracle was written on a clay board and delivered to the Pythoness. Inebriated by the gases, the priestess went into a trance and began to mumble cryptic words.
Trust in me.
These words were written by the priests. The answers delivered were usually enigmatic, mysterious, and often difficult to interpret. Nevertheless, the peoples of that time stated that the prophecies had a high degree of accuracy, and, when they were not confirmed in reality, they believed a misinterpretation had been the cause. The oracle's span of glory lasted many centuries, until its decline arrived. Nero, the Roman emperor, ordered his legions to loot the sacred temple. During the looting, more than 500 statues of bronze and marble were stolen, and then taken to Rome. And with the growth of Christianity, the oracle was permanently closed by the Emperor Theodosius in 385, considering it was a site where superstitions and pagan rituals germinated. But the temple was already in decline even before that. Julian, known as the last pagan emperor, sent an emissary to pose the oracle a question. The priests of the temple sent him the following reply: "Tell the emperor that the glorious temple fell into ruins. Apollo does not have a roof over his head anymore. The leaves of the laurels are silent. The sources and prophetic streams are dead." At the beginning of the 20th century, scholars did not find any signs pointing out to the presence of the famous prophetic gases, concluding that everything was simply a superstition. However, in the final periods of the 20th century, geological studies indicated that the temple is located on top of a geological fault, from which gases are emanated, perhaps with anesthetic and psychotropic effects. The glorious past of the Oracle of Delphi is recorded in works such as Oedipus Rex, in which the oracle prophesies that Oedipus is destined to kill his father and marry his mother. Due to its pivotal importance in the Greek world, the oracle was considered the navel of the world, and in its walls, the famous inscription and the biggest of all advice could be found: "Know yourself."
The power of the One extends beyond this world. It reaches from here all the way back to where it came from.
Where?
The source. That's what you felt when you touched those sentinels, but you weren't ready for it. You should be dead, but apparently you weren't ready for that either.
The architect told me that if I didn't return to the source, Zion would be destroyed by midnight tonight.
Please. You and I may not be able to see beyond our own choices, but that man can't see past any choice.
Why not?
He doesn't understand them. He can't. To him, they are variables in an equation. One at a time, each variable must be solved and counted. That's his purpose, to balance the equation.
Today we celebrate the first glorious anniversary of the information purification directives. We have created, for the first time in all history, a garden of pure ideology, where each worker may bloom, secure from the pests, obeying contradictory thoughts. Our unification of thoughts is more powerful a weapon than any fleet or army on Earth.
Not only does innovation go faster by having everyone in the industry collaborate together, but also it ends up being much more efficient. So at Facebook, we've saved, I think, more than $2 billion in the last several years since we've rolled out Open Compute. So now what we're trying to do with the Telco Infra project is just roll this out to telcos too. So that way we can make it more efficient to deliver the infrastructure for building the internet, hopefully take out a bunch of the costs for our operator partners. And if that goes well, then maybe some of that savings will get passed along to consumers. I've been interested in this idea of virtual reality, and I've been waiting for the day to come when we could deliver this experience. Now today, thanks to this partnership between Samsung and Facebook, this is now possible, and that day is here. 360 videos are even more immersive. You know, because you aren't just watching passively, you feel like you're actually there.
We are one people, with one will, one resolve, one cause. Our enemies shall talk themselves to death, and we will bury them with their own confusion. We shall prevail.
On
January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
If you're looking for a copy of George Orwell's 1984 classic, you won't find it in this bookshop in New York. It's become so popular that it's out of stock here. The classic novel was first published in 1949. It features a devious Big Brother government that spies on its citizens and forces them into accepting contradictory versions of the truth.
It's one of those great dystopian novels. It deals a lot with propaganda.
Everything that's taken place with the pandemic, I'm very thrilled with what's happened on the vaccine front. That's been absolutely incredible. It's nothing like that has ever happened medically, and I think people are acknowledging that, and it's having a big effect. But the stock market's just broken 30,000. Never been broken, that number.
We're coming up on an election. I mean, it's a ways away, but it's going to all start. President Trump is allowed back on the platform. He hasn't actually come back.
Right.
But one would imagine if and when he does, or there are others who will say 2020 election was rigged. Is that something, I assume that's not something you believe?
Well, I think the answer is nuanced. Do I believe Biden won? Yes, I believe he won.
And you voted for it.
I did, actually.
Do you regret that?
I mean, man, I wish we could have just a normal human being as president. That's what I want. I think if we could, there's that old saying of like, we're better off being run by people picked at random from the phone book than the faculty of Harvard.
Yeah.
I don't know who said that, but someone very wise. And I would say if we could do that for the president, that would be great.
You think that would be beneficial? So you're not, obviously you're not happy with Biden.
Don't we all just want a normal human being to be
whatever
the president?
That means, whatever. I'm not even sure anymore what normal means.
No,
Once upon a time, the American dream was power, wealth, and success. But in the city that never sleeps, the American dream is about to get a wake-up call.
Just got hired today, entry level. But I got big ideas.
When the president and owner of 87% of the company's stock drops, then the company too has a problem. What we need now is a new president. Some jerk.
My leg is on fire.
We can really push around.
Yo! Yeah, you, boss! This letter was sent down this morning by the big man himself.
Sit down, son. Go ahead. Try it on.
Did the Fortune City own idea man when they promoted you from the mailroom?
Well, I guess so. I don't think they promoted me because they thought I was a schmo.
The guy's a real moron.
Cigarettes?
No, thank you.
What an imbecile. Come up with this.
From Joel and Ethan Cohen.
It's fun, it's healthy, the kids will just love it, and we put a little sand inside to make the experience more pleasant.
Did you have any idea there'd be such a huge response?
This is the president.
I don't think anybody expected this much hoopla.
Comes a comedy of fame, fortune, sex, greed, and the American way.
Say, Amy, how about you and I grab a little dinner or a show after work? I was thinking maybe The King and I. How about Oklahoma?
Tim Robbins, Jennifer Jason Leigh, and Paul Newman.
I'm getting off this merry-go-round.
Plexiglass.
Tell your sickness. The Hudsucker Proxy.
I hear about Hermes?
His son, actually. It's kind of important.
Yeah, I could tell that when you burst in here all rude like.
You're...
Hermes. Little insulted you didn't recognize me. My feelings might have even been hurt. I wasn't such a self-confident individual. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm killing these shorts.
That's a sacred number, 30,000. Nobody thought they'd ever see it. That's the 9th time since the beginning of 2020. And it's the 48th time that we've broken records during the Trump administration. And I just want to congratulate all the people within the administration that work so hard. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the people of our country, because there are no people like you. Thank you very much, everybody.
Like a sigh? Just bought it. Hermes, of course. Check it out. State-of-the-art sorting, processing, and packaging facility.
Yeah, easy for you to say, Your Eminence.
Oh, actually, Martha, it's not easy for him. He's the god of freaking speed.
Well, except he's not the one whose butt is stuck to a big silver stick forever.
Hey, guys, what did I say? When we meet new people, protract your S's. It's more dramatic. Makes an impression.
I'm honored to stand on a factory floor operated by the incredible workers of Ford Motor Company. You are demonstrating that we can open our country while taking precautions like social distancing. Americans who need and want to return to work should not be vilified. They should be supported. Unlike many politicians and journalists, for those who earn a living with their own two hands, working remotely is just not an option. The hardworking patriots here today answer the call to serve. You're building a great medical arsenal to defeat the virus and cement America's place as the leading manufacturer and exporter of ventilators anywhere in the world. With your help and our policies, this country is poised for an epic comeback. The Ford name will forever stand as a symbol of American excellence, innovation, quality, and craftsmanship.
Well, house guests, huh? And who might you be? No, now, don't tell me. Let's see, you're traveling in disguise. No, that's not right. You're going on a visit. No, I'm wrong. That's right. You're running away.
How did you guess?
Professor Marvel never guesses. He knows. Now, why are you running away? No, don't tell me. They don't understand you at home. They don't appreciate you. You want to see other lands, big cities, big mountains, big oceans.
Why, it's just like you could read what was inside of me.
Yeah.
Oh, Toto, that's not polite. We haven't been asked yet.
Oh, he's perfectly welcome. As one dog to another, huh? Here, now, let's see. Where were we?
Oh, please, Professor, why can't we go with you and see all the crown heads of Europe?
Do you know any? Oh, you mean the thing? Yes, I never do anything without consulting my crystal first. Let's go inside here. We'll just come along. I'll show you. That's right. Here. Sit right down here. That's it. This is the same genuine, magic, authentic crystal used by the priests of Isis and Osiris in the days of the pharaohs of Egypt, in which Cleopatra first saw the approach of Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, and so on and so on. Now, you'd better close your eyes, my child, for a moment, in order to be better in tune with the infinite. We can't do these things without reaching out into the infinite.
Meet the Oracle, the man who knows everything.
I sense you'll be having a sandwich for lunch.
Congratulations, Carl. He knows all, controls all, sees all, from his desk.
Sanctuary.
He manages the facilities of 5,000 locations, 1,000 service requests a day, and knows the status of every job, contractor, invoice, and dollar being spent.
I know Miami location's HVAC spend decreased 23% last month, and a toilet exploded in Toledo.
I know who stole the boss's leftover Chinese.
Know it all with Service Channel, the leading edge technology for full transparency facilities and contractor management. Service Channel, transparency drives performance.
Yes, that's all right. Now you can open them. We'll gaze into the crystal. What's this I see? A house with a picket fence, and a barn with a weather vane and a running horse.
That's our farm.
Yes. There's a woman. She's wearing a polka dot dress. Her face is careworn.
That's Aunt Em.
Yes, her name is Emily.
That's right. What's she doing?
Well, I can't quite see. Why, she's crying. Someone has hurt her. Someone has just about broken her heart.
Me?
Well, it's someone she loves very much. Someone she's been very kind to. Someone she's taken care of in sickness.
I had the measles once, and she stayed right by me every minute. What's she doing now?
She's what's this? Well, she's putting her hand on her heart. Well, she's dropping down on the bed.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's all. The crystal's gone dark.
Oh, you don't suppose she could really be sick, do you? Oh, I've got to go home right away.
But what's this? I thought you were going along with me.
Oh, no, I have to get to her right away. Come on, Toto. Come on. Goodbye, Professor Marvel, and thanks a lot.
Better get under cover, Sylvester. There's a storm blowing up, a whopper. To speak in the vernacular of the peasantry. Poor little kid. I hope she gets home all right.
Something's wrong. I feel off. They think her feed did something to her brain.
The world needs this technology. Millions are in danger.
The feed is causing erratic, violent behavior.
Every system is susceptible to viruses.
What's your purpose?
To unbalance it.
Why? What do you want?
I want the same thing you want, Neo. And I'm willing to go as far as you are to get it.
The end of the war. Is it going to end?
One way or another.
Can Zion be saved?
I'm sorry I don't have the answer to that question, but if there is an answer, there's only one place you're going to find it.
Where?
You know where. And if you can't find the answer, then I'm afraid there may be no tomorrow for any of us.
What does that mean?
Everything that has a beginning has an end.
I'm personally insulted. Snakes don't talk like that. It is a stereotype and it's offensive.
Bad enough some of our relatives are hanging out with Medusa, turning people to stone. All right.
Oh, I love your hair. I wish my hair would do that.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Look, why don't you guys make yourselves useful? Didn't you Google Luke for me? These kids are looking for him.
Why?
Do they have a death wish?
Doesn't matter. Just
Didn't even say please.
Told you, we should have taken a job with Hercules.
an acquired taste.
Oh, shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in.
Swift-footed Hermes glides as fast as thought between the summit of Mount Olympus down to the world of us mortals. The earth passes in a blur beneath him as he speeds over land and sea. Hermes is featured more than any other god in the myths. That's why he's so often depicted in the vase paintings of the ancient Greeks. He's the personal messenger to his father Zeus, so he's often sent away, post-haste, on important business missions. This leaves Zeus free time to attend to more personal matters. But Hermes is much more than a glorified postal service. He's the cleverest of all the gods, and a master in the art of persuasion. He's often seen wearing a messenger's cloak and a wide-brimmed hat. and on his feet are winged sandals. His symbol is a herald's staff entwined by two serpents, known as the caduceus. The design of the caduceus has seen many changes over the course of time, but this is the version most often used today. The caduceus was formally adopted by the medical department of the United States Army in 1902.
I'm thrilled. We'll begin with President Biden making his first trip to Michigan since taking office, touring Pfizer's coronavirus vaccine plant over in Portage.
That plant just south of Kalamazoo serves as the tip of the spear in our nation's fight to end the pandemic.
President toured the facility and then delivered remarks just a short time ago. Rod Maloney live in Portage tonight following the president's visit. Rod?
Yeah, this is the news a lot of Americans have been waiting to hear, Devin. They are ramping up production of the vaccine, and not just a little. We're talking a lot here. The president going so far as to say he believes that there will be enough vaccine available for all Americans by the end of July. He says it won't be in everybody's arms, but they will have it at the ready. He also had high praise for those who actually made the vaccine before he even took office.
It's a miracle of science and the brilliant minds that we have around us. And now it's a second miracle, the miracle of manufacturing to produce hundreds of millions of doses. Let me say it again, hundreds of millions of doses. I came here because I want the American people to understand the extraordinary work that's being done to undertake the most difficult operational challenges this nation has ever faced.
The president's tour consisted of looking around Pfizer's sprawling 1,300-acre manufacturing site with some 350 ultra-cold freezers holding millions of vaccine doses getting boxed and sent out the door. He learned from Pfizer's CEO the company, through the Defense Production Act, is ready to improve on the 40 million doses already made and using new machinery and improved efficiencies to increase weekly production, doubling from 5 to 10 million doses a week.
To be here in Ohio with the hardworking men and women of Lima. This plant is built and serviced thousands of tanks and military vehicles that powered American forces through World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Desert Storm, Iraq, and Afghanistan. But under the previous administration, this tank factory came very close to shutting down. But those days are over. The awesome M1 Abrams tank is once again thundering down the assembly line. We are rebuilding the American military. We are restoring American manufacturing. And we are once again fighting for our great American workers. Thank you for pouring out your heart and your sweat and your soul to help restore the might of the American military.
Still, the president knows there is some skepticism about getting the shots.
We all know there's a history in this country of having subjected certain communities to terrible medical abuses in the past. But if there's one message to cut through to everyone in this country, it's this: the vaccines are safe. Please, for yourself, your family, your community, this country, take the vaccine when it's your turn and available.
A bit of a strange choice, considering that the symbol is not associated with health, but rather with commerce and negotiation. Another symbol, known as the rod of Asclepius, is similar to the caduceus, but it depicts a single serpent. It's the symbol of Asclepius, Greek god of healing, medicine, and physicians.
That's how to beat this pandemic.
And so is appropriately used today, both in the US and around the world, in connection with health and medicine. So then why is the caduceus still being used today in places like the US as a symbol for health? Some say it's a simple matter of misunderstanding, and others believe it's because the caduceus is thought to have a much stronger visual impact in terms of branding, thereby becoming a more profitable enterprise.
If you're going to cross paths or Zeus forbids swords with him, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to have a thing or two to help you out. Collector's item. You twist the cap off this, you release the winds from the four corners of the earth. Now you tell me that isn't cool. No, not in here. Now, you're also going to want one of these.
I hold in my hands a matter eliminator trademark pending. Anything you outline with this will disappear. Gone. Thanks again. They'll never make it.
It's not surprising there's so much confusion and misuse in regards to this symbol, considering Hermes is a trickster god. The poets say that Hermes was born in a cave on Mount Selene in southern Greece. Almost immediately after he was born, the precocious Hermes got the idea to steal his half-brother Apollo's herd of oxen. But on his way out of his cave, he nearly stumbled over a tortoise. In a flash of inspiration, he transformed the tortoise into a string instrument called the lyre. He then quickly taught himself how to play before he continued on his way. When he finally found the herd, Hermes had the brilliant idea to enchant them to walk backwards, so that it would appear that they never left the meadow. Apollo searched in vain for his lost oxen, suspecting a god must have been involved. He asked Zeus for help, who figured that it must have been his latest offspring who was responsible. Although amused at his young son's antics, Zeus made Hermes give the herd back to Apollo. So Hermes ended his eventful first day on Earth playing a melody on his newly invented lyre. Although deeply annoyed at his younger brother, Apollo was completely taken by the beautiful sound it produced. A deal was suddenly struck. Apollo agreed to hand over his oxen in exchange for the lyre. In his role as the trickster, Hermes is also associated with the archetype of the fool or the joker. He shows us that disobedience can be intelligently used to help the individual assert their power within society, and even the playing field between those with power and those without. Although Hermes is often thought of as a trickster, he's also connected to the magician archetype as a powerful deity of dreaming, death, and illusion.
There is a legend of a secret order born in ancient Egypt called the Eye. There is a legend of a secret order born in ancient Egypt called the Eye. It is said they perfected sleight of hand to steal food from the pharaohs and give it to the slaves. Their purpose? Using magic and illusion to even the scales of justice. Are the horsemen next in a long line of fools to believe this myth?
So embarrassing. Is this what you do? Is that a sick trick you do to women? Just bring them to your place
45 East Evans Street.
Really?
It's a show.
What is magic? Our argument, nothing but targeted deception. So I want you to look. Look as closely as possible.
Because the tricks you are about to see may not seem connected, but we assure you they are.
Is what follows 100 different tricks? Or is it one giant illusion?
Much like we do today, the ancient Greeks mourned their dead and wondered about what awaited them beyond the familiar shore of life.
They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky. They're all together ooky, the Addams Family. Their house is a museum. When people come to see them, they really are a scream, the Addams Family.
Neat. Sweet. Petite.
So get a witch's shawl on, a broomstick you can crawl on. We're gonna pay a call on the Addams Family.
They imagined an afterlife in which souls were helped across to the other side by none other than Hermes himself. The typically mischievous Hermes leaves his trickery behind when he enters the underworld. The golden gleam of his caduceus helps guide the souls of the recently departed through the twilight of the underworld to their final resting place. This is why Hermes is referred to as psychopomp, a Greek word meaning conductor of souls.
Good night!
FBI! Hands where I can see him. Let's go. Get him up. Come on.
Fenomenato.
Let's go. Get him up. Let's go. Get him up. Come on.
I thought you said you were a desk agent. What is this? What's the Eye of Horus?
Oh, certainly nothing I want to get into tonight. You're dismissive enough about me when you're sober. Find your way back yourself.
So, what's this all about?
Supposedly, if you buy into it, the Eye are the keepers of real magic and the protectors of those who practice it.
Candidates for initiations must follow a series of commands with blind obedience.
According to these, they only take new people twice a century.
So what, the horsemen are doing these shows in order to get into this thing?
There he is. There he is.
So here's my new theory. The legend is that the Eye is everywhere, waiting for the truly great magicians to distinguish themselves from the mediocre ones.
The Eye isn't real.
Okay, then explain then. Who's behind all this?
I don't know who, but they had to have access to the warehouse, planting the mirrors. Always a step ahead of me. And the FBI. Got past them not once, not twice, but consistently. Almost as if they were on the inside.
No, I'm telling you, we're right where we need to be. We just have to find...
That?
God. I did not see that coming. That's impossible.
No way. That was actually pretty good.
Thank you.
Welcome to the eye.
It's healthy, the kids will just love it, and we put a little sand inside to make the experience more pleasant.
Did you have any idea there'd be such a huge response?
This is the president.
I don't think anybody expected this much hoopla.
Comes a comedy of fame, fortune, sex, greed, and the American way.
Say, Amy, how about you and I grab a little dinner or a show after work? I was thinking maybe The King and I. How about Oklahoma?
Tim Robbins, Jennifer Jason Leigh, and Paul Newman.
I'm getting off this merry-go-round!
Hermes is also called a god of thresholds. He's one of the very few granted access to the underworld, and also permitted to leave its shadows and return again to the sunlit world above. Hermes is often seen as a unifying force between male and female. Mercury, and so by extension Hermes, was largely forgotten after the fall of the classical world. But he enjoyed a reinvention tour in the late European Middle Ages, when he became a central figure in the mysterious practice of alchemy. Because the element mercury was the only metal to remain liquid at room temperature, the alchemists were convinced that it held a profound secret.
The EPA is proposing that it is not appropriate and necessary to regulate hazardous air pollutants emissions from coal. That's a direct quote from a statement released by the Environmental Protection Agency Friday. The EPA claims costs of regulating mercury emissions at coal-fired plants far outweighed the benefits, alarming environmentalists across the U.S. who say the move could increase toxic pollution. A rule enacted by former President Barack Obama in 2011 forced coal plants to install expensive equipment to cut the output of mercury, which can harm pregnant women and children. Weakening those standards would represent a major victory for the coal industry, which has lobbied to roll it back.
Coal country.
Since taking office, President Trump has vowed to repeal over a dozen Obama-era environmental protections to maximize domestic fuel production.
See, I'm going to put the miners back to work.
From great suffering, great pain, came a solution. Communities, where disorder became harmony.
The way things look and the way things are very different.
What do you think would happen if you skipped your morning injection?
I cannot prepare you for what's going to happen.
There's something missing from our lives. Something that has been stolen.
When people have the freedom to choose, they choose wrong.
It seemed to exist right at the threshold between two states, not fully one thing or another, but something in between. Alchemists therefore believed Mercury could transcend both solid and liquid, earth and heaven, and ultimately life and death. They asserted that Mercury was one of the main ingredients needed to produce the Philosopher's Stone. The stone, also called Elixir of Life, was rumored to have the ability to turn base metals into gold and to prolong life indefinitely.
Me, look on the CDC website as to what is in the swine flu vaccine. You know, aluminum, insect repellent, formaldehyde, mercury.
Yeah. Is there really mercury in flu vaccines? Our Verify team went to the Centers for Disease Control and the Food and Drug Administration. Both say yes, bam, there is a preservative added to vaccines that is 50% mercury. It's called thimerosal. And the CDC says they've done a bunch of studies that show it doesn't have any link to autism. Now, it's put in the shots to stop bacteria and fungus from growing in the vial because that could cause a staph infection.
Aluminum, insect repellent, formaldehyde, mercury.
As messenger, trickster, psychopomp, and alchemical figure, the shape-shifting Hermes invites us to travel beyond the boundaries of the conscious and unconscious mind.
I mean, you know, I have always liked to shapeshift.
He reveals to us how easily we're taken in by the art of illusion. He exposes hypocrisy and challenges authority.
Janus was the Roman god of doorways and gateways, and is the namesake for the month of January. More fundamentally, he was the god of passage, metaphoric, temporal, and physical. He had two faces, each one positioned oppositely to the other, signifying simultaneous sight in opposite directions, backwards and forwards, inwards and outwards. As well, he was the god of beginnings and endings, especially as this pertained to conflict, the opposite states of wartime and peacetime. Reflecting this was his most important cult building, which was a double gate in the Roman Forum. One gate faced west, the other east. In one tradition, he was an early king of Italy. He welcomed Saturn, the Roman equivalent of Cronus, who introduced agriculture.
That day on the Murray show, when I saw you, for once in my life, I didn't feel so alone anymore. And I wasn't the only one.
2 years ago, the name Arthur Fleck hit Gotham like a hurricane.
I'm nobody. I haven't done anything with my life like you have. But I have an idea. Let's get out of here.
They believe Arthur Fleck to be some kind of martyr. Is a monster.
The trial of the century.
If Arthur Fleck were to win, he could be free from any charges.
How about you, Arthur? Do you still think you're a star?
Tell us, what's changed, Arthur?
Well, I'll tell you what's changed. I'm not alone anymore. That's what we should be talking about.
I want to see the real you.
Look around! now look at all these people. I will no longer allow any of you to keep me down.
Try not to understand, because it is impossible.
It's going to get more and more overtly occult as these things develop. I mean, Burning Man's totally in-your-face occult. I mean, that's just flat out, we're witches, we're here, we're New Age, we're here to work witchcraft. We're gathering together because there's more power. You know, this has been almost like programming that's been put into humanity's mind for a long time. Now it's more of a manifestation of this. This is just so far off the scale where this world is heading. The amount of time, effort, money that is being expended by Satan and his minions to implement his agenda.
A future that Ernest Cline, the writer of the book, envisioned. I was very careful with Ernie collaborating with me every step of the way to be able to find the movie narrative inside this dense forest of Ernie's profound imagination.
The Oasis being the ultimate toy box with all the toys in the world, and then playing that with one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. It results in just amazing action and such a fun adventure.
Ernest Cline is such a visionary, and I think has seen the future before any of us possibly could even imagine it.